So, the other shoe dropped. My mother was diagnosed with cancer, ovarian cancer, on September 11th. She had to go see an oncologist in Whittier, which is about 80 miles away from where we lived, because our insurance up where I live does not cover gynecology, oncology. So we did that. She got checked into the hospital. That used to be Whittier Presbyterian and is now PIH Health. Not my favorite place in the world. Aside from the fact that it's a hospital, it's also the hospital where one of my aunts died unexpectedly and where I miscarried a child. So, not my favorite place. We check her in and had to leave her there by herself to get the news the next morning that not only does she have uterine cancer, she also has it in her lungs and her lymph nodes because it has spread. Now, we're waiting for the insurance to approve a port so she can get chemo and chemo itself, which is of course taking forever because it's insurance, so it's taking forever. To add to the confusion that is my life, of all the people I've told, who's on the phone with me every night? It's not my family. It's not my uncle, any of my cousins. Some of them can't even be bothered. No. Who is it? It's Ricky. The man who was barely my boyfriend in high school is on the phone with me every night, trying to distract me from crying, trying to help me understand how to deal with this, trying to fix it. And with all the other things we talk about and deal with, he's worried about my mother. I don't know if I've said on these videos before, he loves my mother as much as, maybe even more than he loves me and my baby sister. And when I bring that up and say it exactly like that, he laughs. And he says, I love them so much because I love you so much. Okay, so I'm bringing my mom home from initial cancer diagnosis, where she gets told she's stage 4 and how they need to administer the chemo. And he calls because he calls every day. Today, for instance, we were literally on the phone all day, and sometimes a dead silence. But I'm not the woman he's in love with. Yeah. So we're in the car, and I tell him, let me call you when I get home because I'm in the car, I can't hear you, blah, blah, blah. Tell him about half an hour. Be home in about half an hour. So sure enough, we get home, and he's calling and wanting to know about mom's cancer appointment and everything, but we're in the car, and, my mom and my cousin, both well aware of who Ricky is, say to me, who is that? And I said, oh, it's Ricky. And I made some comment about his ex-wife and his girlfriend. And my mother says, girlfriend? And I said, yeah, that's not me. And she looks at me in the rearview mirror like, what? And I said, yeah, but it's not. I said to Lori, who was driving, I said to her, he loves my mother as much as me. Loves my sister as much as me. And my mom says something to the effect of, I said he didn't have a good childhood, and she said I knew it, something to the effect of I knew it the minute I seen him. And I said, okay. Didn't quite know what to say to that. Then we get home, and I told her a little bit about the childhood he did have. Just a smidgen of it, of what I know. Just smidgen, because it's not my story to tell. She said to me, when I was done, she said, you should have brought him to my house. And I said, Mom, I did. As soon as I found him, I did. And she said, yeah, you did, didn't you? And I said, yeah. And we play this game in my house where I quote an old TV show and I say, why do I come here? I have no team. Over a stupid thing. It's a game in my house, where I say something like, I don't like Brussels sprouts. And I'll ask everybody in the house, and everybody in the house will say, oh, I like Brussels sprouts, just to fuck with me. Just to hear me say I have no team. Why do I come here? I have no team. Well, I want to say it was in July. I was sitting out in the backyard talking to Ricky on a Tuesday afternoon, listening to him tune up his car because he is so desperate to keep the woman he doesn't love on the phone, me. The woman he's not in love with on the phone, me. But, it's all good because I like to listen to men do men things, and I think it's sexy, and it's all good. So I'm listening to him tune up his Jeep. I'm talking to him. It's 105 degrees outside. And my sister-in-law texts me to find out if I am still at home or did I leave with my mother and my sister. And I tell her, no, I'm in the backyard. And she says, oh, okay. And I said, did Mom and Chrissy take water? And Ricky hears this and he says, what are you talking about? And I said, it's 100 degrees outside. I'm just making sure Mom and Chrissy have water. And he says, Mom can go anywhere she wants to go. She's a grown woman, blah, blah, this, and that. And I said, yes, I'm just trying to make sure that she has water because it's literally hotter than Hades out here. And I made the mistake of telling my mother that. And she says, oh, ho, ho, he's on my team. So now it's become a thing. When honestly, if it wasn't for me, there would be no Ricky in this family. And whether he wants to admit it or not, he is part of my family. Just by me, he is part of my family. He finds that incredibly endearing. I find it incredibly funny that my entire family is trying to get them on his team. He makes jokes about he's going to bring my sister hamburger helper dinner and my sister-in-law. I forget what he said he was going to do her. He thinks He's going to tell my brother he's a badass because he gets shots in his eyeballs. And they're all going to be on his team, and I'm going to have no team. It's a game. It's incredibly funny. But it adds to my confusion. It truly does. He will not come see me, but he wants to be in my family. And I know it's because he doesn't trust himself to come see me. He doesn't trust himself. And he's not wrong. I mean, he tells me things he doesn't tell the woman he's dating. He tells me the truth. He lies to her. Hides things from her. And I get to sit and listen. Because as much as I do love him, I want him to be happy. And as mad as I am that he lied to me and did not have the balls to tell me for a year and a half, he let me think he was dead or gone or whatever, instead of just saying, hey, while I was talking to you the entire time, I was talking to her too, and I love her more. Instead of just saying that, he just chose to say nothing. And it isn't true, honestly. He doesn't see it. I don't know why he doesn't see it. Everybody else sees it. He doesn't see it. Or maybe he can't admit it. Maybe he doesn't want to acknowledge it. I don't know. I don't know. But I just have a message for all the men in the world. Fuck you. All of you. You're all liars. You only want what you want. You're only out to hurt people. You don't see what's right in front of your damn face. And you all say you want a woman that's sweet to you, but you really don't. And you all say you want women that have meat on their bones and they're curvy, but you don't. You don't. You want your cake and eat it too, which is absolutely impossible. You want a woman that you fawn over while having women fawn over you. That's what you want. And it absolutely is fucking bullshit. And you don't want women that are sweet to you. You want bitches. You want a woman that will cheat on you. You want a woman that will move on 2 months after you die. You want the woman that will break your heart rather than the one that'll cook you a homemade dinner and make sure you have clean laundry. That's what you want. All this other crap is bullshit. None of it is true. None of it. So you all should just stop saying it. Just stop saying it. Do the world a favor and just stop saying it because it isn't true.